She said she wished for a different life, so I gave her one. After 20 years of marriage, my wife looked up from her phone and said the sentence that ended everything. I wish I'd chosen a different life. We were sitting in our living room, Tuesday night, half watching TV, half scrolling. Her voice was calm, too calm. I thought she was joking. I asked, what does that mean? She didn't look at me. It means exactly what it sounds like. I look at other people's lives and wonder what mine would have been like if I'd made different choices. Different career, different partner, different everything. Different partner? I repeated. She shrugged. Maybe. I nodded once. It's not too late to start one. She blinked. What? A different life, I said, standing up. It's not too late. That night, I moved her things into the guest room. You're being ridiculous, she said, standing in the doorway as I folded her clothes, carried her makeup, hung her robe. I'm being efficient, I said. You don't say something like that unless you've been thinking it for a long time. She didn't argue. By the time I finished, it was past midnight. The silence between us felt heavier than it had in years. The next morning, I was up before sunrise. I sat on the porch with coffee, waiting. Around 7:30, my sister Rebecca's car pulled up. 10 minutes later, my parents' sedan, then my best friend Danny's old truck. They sat beside me on the porch, each with a mug in hand. At 8 o'clock, Sarah came downstairs in her robe, stopped dead when she saw them all sitting there. What's going on? She asked. Morning, Sarah, Rebecca said coolly. I gestured to the chairs. I called them last night, told them what you said. Her face drained of color. You had no right. I had every right, I said evenly. These are the people who watched me build a life with you. I figured they should know it didn't mean much to you. My mother set her mug down. My son spent 20 years being a devoted husband, and you told him you wished you'd chosen differently. I was upset, Sarah said quickly. I didn't mean it. Danny leaned forward. How did you mean it then? Because that sounds pretty clear. She didn't answer. That weekend, our daughter Lily called from college. Dad, Mom says you're being cruel. Did she tell you what she said? I asked. She said she was having a bad day. Lily, I said quietly. Your mother told me she wished she'd chosen a different life, different partner. That's not a bad day. That's the truth. Silence. Then, that's really messed up, Dad. 2 weeks later, Sarah asked for marriage counseling. Will you go with me? She asked softly. Why? Because I don't want to lose our marriage. You already did, I said. You told me you wished you'd chosen differently. That's not something you come back from. I was wrong, she said, tears starting. I don't actually want a different life. At the first session, the therapist asked, Sarah, did you mean what you said? Long silence. Then, barely above a whisper. In that moment, yeah, I meant it. That truth sat between us for the next 6 weeks like a living thing. By week 6, the therapist asked, do you both still want to stay married? Sarah said yes immediately. I didn't. I can't unhear it, I said. Every time I look at her, I think she wishes I was someone else. That's not true anymore, Sarah said, desperate. How do I know that? I asked. How do I trust that next year you won't decide again that you made the wrong choice? She didn't have an answer. 4 months later, we were separated. She stayed in the guest room until she found an apartment. The divorce papers would be filed by spring. Danny came over the next weekend to help me finish restoring the '67 Mustang we'd been working on for 2 years. Cherry red, engine smooth as silk. When I turned the key, it rumbled to life like it had been waiting for this moment. Sarah came outside while I was polishing the hood. She stood there for a minute, then said softly, it's really beautiful. Thanks, I said. I'm sorry, she said, for all of it. I nodded. I know. She left without another word. Now when people ask what happened, I tell them. After 20 years, she said she wished for a different life, so I gave her one.